we're going to talk about something fun, guys, because as you guys can see behind me, this way, that's this way right here. On the bottom shelf, you will see some Power Ranger helmets, and they are all of Tommy Oliver's forms. So in 1994, did you know that Jason David Frank was almost in the WWF? So shout out to the Reluctant Adult Podcast on YouTube. He is going to tell us about JDF and how the Power Rangers were almost in the WWF in 1994. Fair use.
I know who's the Power Rangers, the actual actors, almost appeared on WWF television in '95. Power Rangers were as hot as could be, and WWE were doing an angle with the Undertaker where he was gone for a while on WWE TV. What they ended up doing is involving Chuck Norris. He was searching for the Undertaker. He was investigating his disappearance. The Undertaker was having a match against the fake Undertaker, and Chuck Norris, he was watching the ring, making sure none of the bad guys came down. So he had to beat off all these bad guys like Jeff Jarrett. Vince's idea was to have the Power Rangers be in that role, and they were going to have Jason David Frank be the special guest referee. And apparently Jason David Frank was a big wrestling fan, so he was super excited about it. I feel like that's one of those inflection points where if that had happened, I feel like the future we're living in today would have been different, because that would have just been amazing. It would have been too much. The Power Rangers, the actual actors, almost.
All right, so shout out to the Reluctant Adult Podcast for that clip. So when I tell you a fucking 4-year-old Alo would have lost his mind on video from WWE. In retrospect,
give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Thank you. So as you guys heard, that it was this is not 1994. It's supposed to be 1995. So the movie came out in the summer of 1995. It was going to be the Undertaker against the Underfaker. It was JDF supposed to be the referee for that match, and the Power Rangers were supposed to be on the outside. I guess you could say as power enforcers. We'll call them that. So that would have been mind-blowing to actually see. Definitely something that I wish happened. But I already know Haim Saban was like, he was not letting that happen. He was not at all. And Haim Saban is somebody that I've learned to gain a lot of respect for. I don't want to say respect, but somebody I admire, I'll put it that way. Like, for example, like Walter Jones. If you guys are not familiar with Walter Jones, I'll put him up on the screen right now. So Walter Jones, the original Black Ranger, he has been on a pretty big media tour as of late. So Walter Jones, the original Black Ranger, in season 1 and on the second half, in the first half of season 2. So this is Walter Jones. He's been doing the rounds, getting pretty big interviews, and I guess their interviews have been going viral. So if anybody has not seen the Hollywood Demons episode of Power Rangers, I'll pretty much try to sum this up as quick as I can. So we all know that Austin St. John, Twee Trang, and Walter Jones, they all left the show in the second half of season 2, got sent to a peace conference because of a financial dispute. Now, I'll let you guys kind of make your own mind up when it comes to this. So when it comes to this, let's go back to, I guess, 1980. Let's say 1983 or 5. So in the mid 80s, Haim Saban saw Super Sentai. He paid $500,000 for the rights for 10 years. If you go on YouTube, you can see him shoot different kind of pilots for Super Sentai series before Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was Zoo Ranger in Japan, and that aired in 1992. So you will see I believe Bioman. Bioman is the main one that you will probably see on YouTube. And he was in an 8-year of a 10-year deal. The show finally got picked up, and the executive who believed in it was a woman. Sorry, I cannot remember her name. It was a woman. Fox was like, I don't know. I'll greenlight it, but I'm only going to give you $15,000 per episode the budget, and that's nothing. So she comes back to Haim Saban with the deal, and she tells Haim, they're giving me $15,000 per episode, and I want a percentage of the toy sales. So Haim mortgages his house, takes a mortgage out on his house to fund the show. The show is a massive hit right away. And with the show being a massive hit, the actors are only getting, I believe, $1,200 a week or $600 a week or something like that. And let's emphasize this. It's the show, the toys made $1 billion, not the show, the toys. And also these guys are helmet heads. Now, also, if you're a 90s kid, or even nowadays, because they have the Reignition line, they signed their likeness away on those contracts. And on these toys, some of these toys, a small percentage of these toys have their likenesses on it. And with the likeness on it, they saw no revenue from those except for their regular pay for the show. So the contracts are up. Walter Jones, Tweed Trang, Austin St. John, the criminal. They get, I guess you could say, hyped up. They get some bad advice from a lawyer. And he says that you guys should be getting a piece of the toy sales. Now, let's preface this that all these guys were offered raises from what they made in season 1. So Walter Jones is going around the media circuit saying that he wanted the show to be SAG, which Saban was not going to do because it cut into his production, because Power Rangers is a very cheap show to create. So he wanted the show to be SAG, and that he felt that he needs he felt that he deserved generational wealth, even if he got 1% of the toy sales. But that wasn't going to happen. It wasn't. I'm gonna try to find it. Maybe I can find it for you guys. If you guys have not seen Hollywood Demons, I know exactly who has it up on their YouTube channel, so you guys can actually see it as well. So they wanted a percentage of the toy sales. Jason Frank, Amy Jo, and David Yost, they took the raises and stay on the show. And those three are probably one of the most successful people from the show, especially JDF, because they understood the long game. They weren't greedy. The other three, they got bad advice. And let's find, this is from Henry Resilient. He has the clip up of them asking for a percentage of the toy. So this is courtesy of Hollywood Demons. Fair use, guys.
Money on ad sales, and they make this much money on merchandising.
That was the time of Tickle Me Elmo, and everybody had to have the must-have toy.
It was like right away the toys were selling off the shelves. No, I'm sorry, we don't. What's all that?
Power Rangers was the biggest selling toy in the 90s.
Power Rangers enters its second season and licensed merchandise sales balloon to $1.6 billion worldwide.
All right, guys. So right there, you see it right there. Toys. And this woman right here, she will explain to you about how these shows work.
In reality, they had made $1 billion in toy sales, which is a lot of money now. It's so much money in the 90s. And these actors are having their likenesses used for toys, but they weren't receiving anything. There was one guy getting rich off of this show.
One of the things that Simone said was, look, I'm giving them a chance to become stars. But from the actor's point of view is, well, now the show has taken off and I'm still not making any money.
There was the thing of, well, I created this character. No, you didn't. We created the character and picked you to play the character.
Good.
So the cast and the crew had already filmed about 60 episodes. They're in the middle still of shooting season 2, but the contract ended. So for the cast, this is their opportunity to actually negotiate properly these big contracts.
Austin St. John, Red Ranger, Tweed Train, Yellow Ranger, and Walter Jones, the Black Ranger, were all represented by the same agent or manager. A demand that was made was a percentage of the toy sales, and that was never, ever, ever going to happen.
Toys approved an instant hit too.
All right, so there you guys go. And also something that is also hit on in that documentary is the fact that in front of Fox executives, Yellow Ranger Tweed Train crashed out in front of Fox executives. And right after that, that was their time to go. So a little bit of a fun fact. You guys can make up your own make up where you stand when it comes to this. But I thought it was a really fun fact to bring up about JDF and the Power Rangers were also almost in the WWE in 1990. Let me fact check this. They said 1995. That was when the movie came out. Let me see where it was Undertaker versus Undertaker. I believe it was 95. No, 94. It was 94. So 94. So, yep. 94, not 95, guys. So, all right, guys. So